of difficult. But if, for example, you can still have a remote console, like I'm not even assuming that you can necessarily SSH into this machine, because that would prove, so I can skip some steps then, right? So let's say you have a remote console into this machine, like a serial console or something, so you can type commands. You can run a tool called ethtool, and that will give you a lot of useful information about the physical state of the network card. So here's an example of some output, bunch of output, a lot of useful information in here, but for the purposes of this, the main things you need to focus on are a couple of bolded lines, which still sort of show up as bolded there. Speed, which in this case would be 100 megabit per second. Duplex is full. And the last line, most importantly, link detected yes. All right, so what this tool will tell you is that the network card does detect link, which means it is physically plugged in. All right, so if it says link detected yes, plugged in. If not, not plugged in. It should be part of most. Some older Linux systems may not have ethtool, but it's pretty standard these days. I tried for this talk. I'm trying to pick programs that you should already have on your system, and I'll let you know if there's something that you may have to install. But most of these things should come out of the box. So if you have this problem, the first solution would be to plug. If something's unplugged, plug it in. All right. Sometimes it was plugged in, but it doesn't look like it. So it could be that your cable is bad. This is, if you have an old Ethernet cable or one that you're really cool and you made it yourself, usually works really great for a little while, and then eventually, from people, like messing around your server, and if you have a big rat's nest behind your cabinet and everything's all messy and people are tugging on the cable all the time, sometimes the cable goes bad. So try a new cable. Often that'll fix the problem. Another one, most servers have more than one Ethernet port. Are you absolutely sure, especially if you're troubleshooting this problem on a new machine, are you absolutely sure that ETH0 is port 0? So, your back of your server may say 0, 1. You're like, perfect. Plug in the 0, ETH0 is port 0. That's sometimes true. Sometimes it's not. And sometimes it's randomly true. All right? Depending on the OS and depending on a lot of other things, I've seen situations where it's always reversed. So port 1 on the back of a particular type of server is always reported as ETH0 and vice versa. It can be really infuriating when you're trying to solve a problem and it is plugged in, then you do 45 minutes of tests, and you come back and, oh, it's plugged in, but it's plugged into the wrong port. All right? Because someone was working behind there, unplugged it, oh, whoops, oh, first port probably, ETH0, plug it in, and it's wrong. Another problem you may find is that, and this is more common when it's not so much that you have trouble communicating as the communication is spotty or maybe abnormally slow. So often you may have a duplex issue. So I mentioned in the last slide, like one of the lines, let me scoot back there.